ever feel like you're capable of way more? Like there's this whole other level you could be operating on, if you just knew how to unlock it.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty common feeling, actually.
Yeah.
And it's the whole idea behind this book by Simone Sisti, USAE, tuoi, superpoteri.
Okay, hold on. USA, tuoi, superpoteri.
Yeah, it means use your superpowers.
Use your superpowers. All right, I'm definitely intrigued, but superpowers. Please tell me this isn't another one of those self-help books that's going to promise to turn me into, like, Tony Robbins overnight.
Not exactly, no.
Why?
It's more like, Sistici, he kind of lays it out like a user manual, like based on neuroscience and psychology. It's about tapping into stuff that we already have.
Okay.
But instead of all that, dry academic jargon,
Yeah.
he uses this really cool treasure map metaphor.
So we're all running around with the treasure map to our own, like, hidden superpowers. Okay, I'm into that.
Right. And so the book goes deep into how our minds work. It breaks things down into three main areas: the rational mind, emotional intelligence, and shaping the future. So, like, picture these as continents on your treasure map, right?
Okay.
And each one has its own set of superpowers to discover.
Before we get to those superpowers, we got to talk about this preface, because this book has a preface by, get this, world-renowned freediver Umberto Polizzari.
Oh, wow.
Now, I got to be honest with you, I am not seeing the connection between freediving and, like, unlocking my potential. Are you?
It's not super obvious right away,
Yeah.
but just stick with me for a second, all right?
Okay.
So Polizzari, he talks about this like intense mental discipline and self-awareness that you need for freediving. It's all about pushing your limits, but like in a way where you have this deep understanding of your own body and mind.
Okay.
And it's actually surprisingly similar to what Sestici's talking about.
So this guy is literally holding his breath for minutes at a time, diving these insane depths.
Yeah.
And that kind of discipline, that awareness of his own limits, that's something Sestici is saying that we can all, like, cultivate to reach our own potential, no matter what that looks like.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's this powerful reminder that we put these limits on ourselves. A lot of times, they're limits that we can push past if we just have the right mindset and the right tools.
Okay, so we've got this user manual for our minds. We've got a treasure map of superpowers just, like, waiting to be found. And we've got this freediving legend showing us what's possible when we master our own, like, inner depths. You've definitely got my attention. Let's talk superpowers. All right, so we've got this treasure map to, like, inner superpowerdom all spread out in front of us. Where do we even begin? Are we talking, like, telekinesis, mind control, asking for a friend?
I hate to break it to your friend, but no, those superpowers, they're not on this map.
Okay.
We're talking about practical stuff here, actionable skills.
Okay.
So Sestici, he lays out 10 in the book, but let's just focus on a few that I think will, really resonate with you, especially like your desire for self-improvement and impactful knowledge and all that.
Yeah, hit me with the good stuff.
Okay, let's start with governing the present.
Oh.
It's about self-awareness, yeah. But Sestici, he takes it a step further. He says that, like, even our smallest actions, they create these ripples that impact the people around us.
Okay, so, like, the butterfly effect, but for, like, everyday life.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, imagine you're prepping for this big meeting, right? Instead of stressing over every little detail, governing the present, it kind of encourages you to just take a step back for a second. Look at the bigger picture. Like, what kind of energy are you bringing to the room? How do your words and your actions, how do they affect your colleagues?
It's about being intentional with how you show up, not just reacting to whatever's thrown at you.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I see how that would be, like, a game changer for sure, especially in, like, high-stakes situations.
And that actually ties into another superpower that Sestici talks about, the fifth ace.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about the arch nemesis, that inner voice that holds us back?
Yeah.
The fifth ace, it's about overcoming those limitations by strategically using our emotions.
So instead of letting our emotions, like, control us, we're choosing how to respond in a way that, like, actually moves us closer to our goals.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like, imagine you're playing poker. You get dealt a really tough hand.
Okay.
Most people, they just react in these really predictable ways, right?
Oh.
They either, like, fold under pressure or they go all in, just totally desperate. But the fifth ace, it's about realizing you have all these different options, even when you feel stuck.
So it's like, instead of just reacting emotionally, you're making a strategic choice based on, like, the situation and your desired outcome, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to see how these superpowers all kind of work together. What's next on our little treasure map here?
All right. This one's called Using the Force. And I think this one might resonate with you.
Yeah.
Because you're like constantly seeking knowledge and deeper meaning.
This is true.
It's about tapping into those core values and then aligning your actions with a bigger purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting some serious, like, find your why vibes from this one.
Yes.
But it also feels like kind of daunting, Like,
Mm.
where do you even begin?
Yeah. Well, Satishi, he gives you like this framework, right?
Okay.
For identifying your core values, your fundamental beliefs, the things that shape your worldview and drive your actions. And
Sure.
once you figure out what those are, you can actually start using them like as a compass
Yeah.
to help you make decisions, big and small.
Yeah. It's like creating your own, like, personal mission statement.
Yeah.
This set of guiding principles that help you navigate all the challenges in life
Exactly.
and make choices that feel like true to yourself.
Yes, exactly. And remember Pulitzari's story, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't just like jump in the water and hope for the best. He trained like really hard, studied the ocean, pushed his limits little by little.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
So we're not just talking about like this vague idea of find your purpose.
No.
Like Sushi's giving us real concrete tools,
Exactly.
strategies to actually do the work,
Yeah.
to put in the effort to create change,
Yeah.
just like Pulitzari did.
Exactly, yeah. It's about understanding that unlocking these superpowers, it takes commitment. It takes
Yeah.
practice and a willingness to get a little uncomfortable
Yeah.
to push those boundaries.
So, okay, we've uncovered all these like really incredible superpowers,
Yeah.
but like knowing about them, actually using them, that's two different things, right? Like, I know I should be eating all my vegetables and exercising every day.
Right.
But
Life happens.
yeah, exactly. Life happens.
Yeah, and that's exactly why Satishi, he doesn't just leave us with this like theoretical framework.
Yeah.
He gives us practical steps, actionable stuff that we can actually use to integrate these superpowers into our lives.
Okay, so how do we do that? Because I am all for unlocking my potential.
Yes.
But I need something a little more concrete than like, just use your superpowers,
Of course, of course. He talks about the importance of routines, positive routines.
Okay.
It's the small efforts, but you got to do them consistently. And then over time, they lead to big changes. Think of it like it's like compound interest, but for your own personal growth.
Oh, I love that. I love that analogy. So it's like these small deposits of effort, and then you get these big returns later on. Okay. What would that actually look like, though, with like governing the present?
So he suggests maybe incorporate a few minutes of mindfulness to your morning.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't have to be anything crazy, like an hour sitting cross-legged. Just like a couple of conscious breaths. Notice your thoughts. Notice how you feel. Set an intention for the day.
Like a mental reset kind of before the day gets going. Yeah, I can get behind that. What about the fifth ace? How do we train ourselves to like respond strategically instead of just like going right to the emotion?
So one of my favorite tools that he talks about is this thing. He calls it a life card.
Okay, a life card.
It's a physical card.
Yeah.
And basically what you do is you write down your core values, like we talked about,
Yeah.
your aspirations.
Yeah.
Almost like a little personal mission statement.
Yeah.
And you carry it around with you.
I love that.
And then anytime you're hit with a challenging situation, you whip out the card, you look at it.
It's like a cheat sheet for
Exactly.
making decisions that are true to yourself.
Yes.
Especially when you got those tricky emotions clouding your judgment. I love it.
Exactly.
Okay, how about using the force?
So using the force,
Mhm.
he's really big on reflection.
Okay.
Schedule some time every week, maybe just look back at what you did, celebrate your wins.
Yeah.
If something didn't work out the way you wanted to, make a little course correction. But
Yeah.
always bring it back to those core values.
Oh, it's so easy to get caught up in like the day-to-day
Yeah.
and like totally lose sight of the bigger picture. This reminds me of when Pulitzari was talking about visualization, like
Yeah.
picturing himself like achieving his diving goals.
Yes. That's future pacing.
Uh.
Satishi talks about that
Oh,
too.
does he?
It's using your mind to create the life that you want.
So by practicing these superpowers, by like establishing these routines, we're essentially like training our brains to operate on this like whole other level.
Yes.
Just like Pulitzari, he trained his body to do those incredible dives.
Precisely. Yeah. Like we forget, our minds are so powerful, they can shape our reality.
We've covered so much ground today, from like the treasure map to the superpowers, the arch nemesis. We've even talked about like actual tools that we can use to put all this into practice. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Simone Sestici's USA E2AI superpoteri, what's like the one thought you want to leave our listeners with today?
There's this line in the book that I really love. Sisti writes, "You have the ability to build your own future."
Mm,
And I think that's just such a powerful reminder. We're not just along for the ride.
right.
We have the power to choose where we're going, build on our strengths, create a life that is truly extraordinary.
And sometimes all it takes is a little guidance, a user manual, a treasure map, just something to like point us in the right direction.
Yes. And the courage to face those inner depths, just like Roberto Pilizzari.
That is it for our deep dive today.
Yes.
We hope you've enjoyed this journey into unlocking your hidden potential. And remember, you have the power within you to create a life that you love one superpower at a time.